What's going on? Today we're building the 55-gallon tank. We're going to be doing a full build from substrate to everything, and I'm really excited. Let's get into it. So with the 55-gallon, we have a stand with it, and we are going to be running a bar light. I don't know what brand this is, but I'm using it on this tank over here, and the plants are liking it really well. So what we're going to be doing is this tank is going to be specifically for some angelfish that I got my girlfriend. So we're expecting a child, and with this angelfish, I really wanted to get her a nice, a nice set of angelfish. So we got four. Sorry, I totally blanked on the name, but it's Bulgarian point angelfish, and they are going to be green. In my opinion, they don't look green. It's more of a silver color, but we are going to be building this tank specifically for them. We're going to be going a one island design, pretty much having this side be super heavily planted and have this side be a little bit more beachy. I do plan on getting some corridors in here. I always love corridors because over in this tank, they have just done wonders. So originally, if you saw the other video, like a few days ago before I got this tank was right here, and that was just for, to be honest, water storage, quarantine, and everything else. But I ended up getting the angelfish, and we ended up getting the 55-gallon. So let's start building. So in here we have some compost from outside. I know it doesn't have any pesticides, any chemicals, none of that stuff, and it's just all organic stuff, which is something that you really want. You can always sift through it to not get like all the big clumps, but I do have like some eggshells that were washed and put into the compost. They'll be breaking down into the water and providing calcium, but also I have these root tabs that I got, and they're going to be mixed in throughout to help grow the plants. So we only need a little bit of the compost and sand mixture. You want to come in closer? You can show the camera. My lovely girlfriend is recording right now. So what we're going to do is spread this mixture across the bottom. And there we go. And because of the type of design that we're going for, one side is going to be a lot heavier because that's where all the plants are going to be growing. So we can put a little bit more. And all we need is a little scrape tool. And I got this one off Amazon. So pretty much flatten this out. And then you don't want it, if you want it super, super neat, don't put it next to the edges. And spread this evenly. So with the compost, it is going to be somewhat problematic, but it's just how you deal with the problems. So with the compost, it has matter in it that's going to be decomposing over, a period of time, and that's going to be creating the CO2. So as long as you have stuff that's going to suck up the CO2 and use it, then the CO2 isn't going to build up and potentially cause problems. And all you have to worry about is adding these root tabs every like 6 months. So I got these off of Amazon. Here, we're gonna go put it like, let's put it like, get up real close. There we go. So aquatic fertilizer. I got these off of Amazon. They're 100 count for like, I think it was like 13 bucks. So all we are gonna do is put this like this. And because it is a new tank, we are gonna be very generous. And the more we put in, and I did have some of them, oh, I did have some of them sprinkled throughout. Oh my god, the light fell. You gotta capture that on camera. You're filming. You're filming. You gotta capture that. The light fell. Teaching your girlfriend how to camera. But the more you put in, the longer the plants have nutrients. So I'm just gonna put one more right there. So after that, let's get right here. Not my feet. Don't show my feet. But we have normal play sand. This is washed out, and hopefully it is enough, because we're going to be covering this entire thing. So after we put the nutrient layer of substrate down, now we have to cap it off. Because if we don't cap it off, all that nutrients is just going to fly everywhere. This compost is going to get into the water. It's going to turn mucky, and it's not going to be the greatest, for viewing purposes. So we have to cap this layer down to just lock it all down, and we have the play sand for that. And what we're just going to do is literally, let's not hit the glass. There we go. We're going to start just placing them down like that. So thankfully that one bag of sand, which is 50 pounds of sand, was enough. And what we did was make this sand line flush with this tank, and it gives the illusion of it being a lot more fuller than it is, especially when we add the hardscape and other things. And what we did on the side, if you want to look on the side right here, you can't even see the actual, see, all we do is fill it up. See, so now we don't even see that nutrient layer, and it would just seem more uniform. And now we are going to be putting some hardscape in here, and we're going to be designing it. So we're going to be stealing this driftwood out of this tank, and we have a thing of pothos attached to it. So we are going to snip this, get this one out, make sure that one doesn't fall. This thing of pothos, who knows, it might go back in, it might not, but we could just leave it in the quarantine tank for the time being. And now, it's gonna be wet. So, oh, that sucks. That took out all the floaters. That one slipped out of my hands. Ooh. Hitting everything. Now, there. So we are using stuff that we have. We are going to be going on hikes and finding pieces of river rock that we like and adding it to the tank, and we clean it. You don't boil the rock as if there's like air pockets or something, it can explode. So that is not fun to do. We just literally we have an old toothbrush, we scrub it all down with some cleaner, and we let it air dry, and we wait maybe about a week, and then we add it. So these have been already added to the tank already, but this piece of driftwood, oh, as you can see, it's not doing exactly what we want. There we go. Hopefully this holds and we don't have to add any rocks to it, because we don't have any rocks. So as you can see, it made a little bit of a mess right here. So all you do is just cover it up. Real simple. So we are doing this on a budget build. So otherwise, I would have loved to add, different designer pebbles and all of that, but we just don't have the resources for that. So we have the substrate put in, and I'm just gonna add a few more root tabs around the area, just in pockets where it may not get too much of the light, and / or places where there's just going to be a lot of plants. And to be honest, you can never go wrong with the amount of root tabs you add to your tank. If anything, it just provides the plants with a lot of nutrients to start off. And then see this right here. So plus I'm going to be adding it in areas where the plants that I'm adding are definitely going to be needing some root tabs. So I do want to be hiding these spots right here, these contact points. So the contact point is this piece of wood with the sand. So putting that around and seeing, like right here, I didn't add too much sand, so I gotta add a little bit more right there. But that should do it in terms of root tabs. So I ended up pulling some plants out of the 10-gallon tank. Here, let's get under the light. So these are the ripens, and this is the Amazon sword. This, I was not planning on keeping this Amazon sword in that 10-gallon tank. It just, these can get so massive, and why in the world would I want to limit that? So especially if the whole tank is based around angels, I need to give this a good deep bed. Oh, wait. How can we do this? So what I usually do, well, if we can stop rolling, grab it like this, and then we want to place it exactly where we want. But because this sand's a little bit on the harder side, it's going to be a little bit difficult. But scooch it down. There we go. And that is going to feed off of all of the nutrients that we gave it on the bottom. And that's just going to do a really, really amazing job. So next is going to be the ripens. These were more of a foreground plant. I thought these were going to be more of a carpeting plant. I was wrong. Oh, I ended up hitting, I hit my ankle. So, see with this, it started to grow off. And we go like this, and we have now 2 of them. So this would be considered the mother plant. See, we have another one. So if you want, we can go in each individual, but in my opinion, I like a good quote-unquote mother plant. And what we're going to do is plant this all around this contact point between the sand and the piece of driftwood. So you shouldn't worry too much. Thank you. You shouldn't worry too much about how it looks right now, especially if you're doing it on a budget. Because unless you're going to have all this money to really get all the plants that you want, I would focus on making sure that you can sustain these plants first. And I had to spend a little money on getting the plants and also getting we're gonna move over here and getting the stuff to maintain these plants, as in like the flourish, getting the stuff to make the DIY CO2, you know. We had to, you know, it all costs money, and because I'm doing this on a budget, I'm reusing a lot of plants that were not working in other tanks, you know. So as you can see, like, yeah, this is growing another, so we got to make sure this is tucked in. And then what we can do is also use our fingers, plant it down. So see this Amazon sword? This Amazon sword can literally grow all the way to the top of the tank. And because we are growing angelfish, they are gonna love these Amazon sword leaves. And because it's gonna be the mother plant, it's actually a mother plant, it can start to branch off and give off runners, so we can start growing Amazon swords all around. Let's see, we could put one more right here. And to be honest, we're going to have to let this side grow in. So we do have a few more plants. And essentially, you want to use them. You can use them rather sparingly. Because, yeah, look at this. On this side, come over the tank. Get in real close. Yeah, you can see all of this. Like, this is a really good mother plant, or a starter. You know, something that will send off runners and all of that. And that is something that you want, a good, healthy starting plant. And what these plants are going to do is make the tank look really nice. We are going to be adding some floaters and some houseplants in here. I like to add them for all my tanks. And the floaters and the houseplants are going to be kind of helping the tank along, like in the water column, while these are just going to be, to be honest, looking nice because they're not going to be soaking up any nutrients from the water column. It's just going to be strictly only the in the substrate. So if there's like fish poop, if you have a substrate for a very, very long time and it gets mixed in, the plants are going to be using the fish poop, but that's over a period of a while. And pretty much what we're doing with all the nutrients that we're adding is not waiting for that. And when the tank does catch up, as in the fish are producing enough waste to fuel the plants, then then we can kind of stop all the nutrients, but then the plants are going to grow a lot more, and then they're going to require more nutrients. So then we're going to have to add root tabs. So it's this entire cycle, and we have to kind of balance everything. Now we are adding water to the tank, and we only have 5-gallon buckets because we don't have a hose or anything like that. So it is going to be filled like
2 hours later.
that. And we have the entire tank filled up. And I thought these would be a little bit more waterlogged. They are not. So they are floating, and they're going to stay floating until further notice. But as you can see, I kind of outlined everywhere where I want these points of driftwood to be. And so we filled this up just straight from the tap, and we have these certain products that we need to use to make sure that the tank is right. So we have stability, and it just adds these microbacteria. It helps the tank. We have prime. It dechlorinates, which means it takes away the chlorine and the chloramine in the water. And then we have flourish, which is microelements, which is stuff to help these plants and their leaves grow. So making sure like some of these yellowing doesn't happen and all of that. So let's dose it. So for all of these, make sure you shake them really, really well. And for this one, it is a capful for 50 gallons. And this is a 55 or a 4-foot tank. So we can do this. Do one, go like this, and then let's read this one. So 1 capful for each 40 liters or 10 US gallons. So what we are going to do is go like this. 1, 2, oh, we gotta get more stability. So we can shake this up with water. So stability isn't really needed. It just helps the tank a little bit more, to be honest. And before this frickin' thing falls off, I have these glass panels that we're gonna go put on. So here we go. So now the light isn't gonna go fall straight through. So yeah, the stability isn't really needed in my opinion. It's just mostly just to help the tank, and especially if you don't have the stuff that we have. So I have a sponge filter that's been filtering in a different tank and culturing the bacteria and all that. So it's going to be perfectly fine to put it in here, and we could throw fish in day one if we want to. But right here, we're adding the flourish, the micro elements, and for one capful for 60 gallons. So because we do want these things to grow, we are just going to do one straight capful. We are definitely not going to be afraid of that. And I did throw this house plant up on top, this golden pothos, and it's in a little holder, little makeshift holder. And this is just going to grow. It's going to grow on the side of the tank, provide lots of coverage, and the angelfish and other fish are going to just totally love it. So in this other tank that was culturing, just regular water, pretty much. There wasn't anything culturing in it. So let me go like this. Here is this. So it was in this tank. I need to do something with it. Yeah, it's just this big tank was definitely not in the plans. But this has been culturing in this tank for a while. So it has all the bacteria and everything in it needed to pretty much jumpstart this. And let's put it in. Oh. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of cords. And I'm going to try to limit it as much as possible in the future and try to make sure I do good management. But we are just going to stick this guy right in the corner here. And all this water right here, we can just throw it in. Literally just pure cycled water, so we don't have to worry about adding anything extra. And we have life. Cool. So see the haziness of this, it's going to take a minute for all of it to cycle through because it's only one sponge filter. The sponge filter is going to do fine. There's going to be plenty of surface area for bacteria to form, but it is going to go take about 12 hours for this to clear up. So we're going to do another jump cut. But first, we're going to go put a heater in here, and angelfish do like it a little bit warmer in their tank, so we are going to be keeping it around like 78 to 80 degrees. I do like it to keep it a little bit warmer. For me, it's just the fish are a lot more active, and they just seem to act better around a little bit higher temperature, more of maxing out their temperature range. But we are going to do another jump cut to when this tank is fully cleared. So see you guys then.
The next day.
So it is the next day. This entire thing is cleared out, and it's pretty amazing just one sponge filter can do. And I did put a heater on it, just so it's warm. And so far everything's going good. And what I'm going to be doing right here is just getting my hand down in this and kind of just putting the sand back. And yeah, just from the water and all of that, it did move a lot of the sand. And if you want it like really neat, you're gonna have to either push it back or be like extremely careful when putting your water in. Let's see if I can do this side. It's left. Yeah, so we don't really want to expose too much of the root tabs. So I'm just making sure I stuff back in. So I did kick up a little bit of sand, but I did just get off of work. But this is the koi angelfish. I did not want it in this 20 long. It was only temporary, until we got this. So in here, we're going to be housing the 4 green angelfish, the Bulgarian points. And then when they get a little bit older, we're going to be putting them in here. And hopefully, they're going to... if you watch Keeping Fish Simple, which is another YouTube channel, he usually has them breed on these Amazon swords, and he just picks off the leaf. So these are going to be, this is just going to be a super cool tank. It is only going to be dedicated to angelfish, and that is a garbage truck. All right, hold on. And this golden pothos plant has so much more, space for it to grow. And we threw the ripens in here, and once this driftwood, sinks, I'm going to be setting it up really nicely. And we need to add some fish to this tank. So we're going to be having angelfish in here, but what else? I want to possibly add some cory cats because it is, the substrate is sand. I just have to make sure this side over here is a good thickness, just so they don't mix it around too much. And just so that nutrient layer doesn't pop up on us. So we have that to figure out. And I do have this container I want to somehow put in the back. I might get a skinnier container, and just because the edge is only this big, about maybe like 2-3 inches, I do want something there so we can start growing other plants in there and have roots. The angelfish are going to appreciate it a lot more. So we are going to be adding more plants to this tank, but because we are running on a budget, we are going to be doing it step by step, and especially with this video, and you could follow along, and you could do it how I'm doing it, or even something very similar. And so the next step we're going to be doing is buying plants, and all we have is at the local pet store. So let's go there.
Later.
So I kind of forgot to film inside the fish store, but I found a local fish store. It wasn't too bad. So I got some over here into the light. So there's going to be a few different types of plants. I'll show them out. But I got some cryptocorynes. I got I think it's Vallisneria, and then a jungle Vallisneria, and then maybe Java friend. Can't remember off the top of my head. But I also picked up some corys to add to the tank. These are going to be a great addition, as they're going to be sifting through the sand and all that. So they've been in here for a little bit. And over in this tank, we have the 3 of them over in the back corner. So we're going to be getting those and adding the 4 and having, the cory cats, they do a lot better in big groups. So right now we're trying to catch the corys. We have 2 out of 3. So the other one's hiding somewhere. Let's see if I can find it with the camera. It's right here underneath. Where do you need this? Here.
Hit that thing up there?
No. See. Fast bugger. There we go. Oh my goodness, you had them. So we have all the cory cats in our container. Oh. So we have 4 albinos and 3, I think those are Julies, right? Mm-hmm. So these albinos, they are relatively good with breeding purposes, because that albino gene is a recessive. So we do have the possibility of getting half albinos and half Julies in the time period. But the albino cory cats are going to take a moment to grow out. They shouldn't take too long. They're not like regular, like a catfish, or like the plecos, where they take like a year to grow out. It's more of maybe like 4 or 5 months. And then after that, then it's going to be relatively set for them. They're going to be essentially breeding weekly. They like that cold water. So all my tanks are running at the same temperature. I try to keep it all temperature matched just to make it super easy on myself. So what we can do, what we can do is go like this. Have these guys go out. So these guys are going to be cleaning the water. We're not cleaning the water, cleaning the substrate. They're just going to be sifting around. And what they did for my other tank was make sure that it's not all mucky and yucky. Because if you look at this bottom tank, it's never had any cory cats in it. And just all this stuff on the bottom is just so yucky. But if you look on here, even though there is some stuff here, it's more of the breaking down of leaves and branches, but all this sand is relatively clean, you know? So these are gonna do an amazing, amazing job in here. And the only problem is that this driftwood, these pieces of driftwood are not floating, are still floating, I mean. And that's just gonna be a pain. But we don't have any river rocks for the time being, and I don't want to buy any glue because we are trying to keep the cost as low as possible, and we're trying to pour as much of the money of the budget into plants, fish, stocking, all of that stuff. And yeah, so right now we got a bunch of plants over at the store. I got a few cuttings of, I think it's not Bacopa. I think it might be Bacopa. It's this really, really easy plant that can be grown. I pulled out some trimmings out of the 20 gallon and I threw them in here. So like over the course of, however long it's gonna, start to grow. But let's get a look at these plants right here. So a lot of these are going to be heavy root feeders, and to be honest, I don't mind that. What the heck did I drop? Oh, I think it was a piece of rock from the freaking store. And then I have this jungle vallisneria. So if a leaf falls off, it's all good. So the vallisneria are going to be growing like weeds. They grow super, super quickly, and I'm not even sure if I'm putting it in this tank, actually. Yeah, actually, let's not put it in this tank. I'm putting it... Yeah, I think I'm going to put it in the 20 gallon. But this one is Java Fern. Super easy. These grow relatively quickly once established. And established in my head is about 2 weeks. So this next one, this is a plant that I have not grown before, but I've never really spent the extra money in getting these extra nutrients. This is what is this called again? We looked it up, and this one is a cryptocoryne. The only problem with these, and the reason why I've never used these before, these feed heavily from the roots. And this is the first time I've ever used root tabs in something like this. So that one's the green version, and this one is a red. And this one is going to grow so amazing. And I've seen this plant used in some MD fish tanks. builds, and they are such an amazing plant once grown out and all of that. I cannot wait for it. So what we are going to do is grab the trusty tweezers. I gotta teach you how to film and all that, baby girl. So this one, I can't. This is a rhizome, right? So I had to double check. You know, I always double check and all that. The Java fern is an epiphyte, which means it pulls directly from the water column. So you attach it mostly to driftwood and all that. So we are just gonna let this float, and it's gonna be totally fine floating and all of that. It might grow better because it's gonna have, it might have access to like the CO2 if it floats to the very, very top. So we are going to attach that. We are going to attach the Java fern to the driftwood later. So we have one of the Bacopa ones. And then we're just going to plant this one all the way in the back like this. These are going to be more of a stemmy. In my opinion, they don't really expand and grow like weeds. So all we do is just put them, and then sooner or later they're going to grow, and then we trim, plant it in a new spot, and that's all good. So for this one I really, really like. So I'm going to give it a nice spot over here. And because we're doing this with water, you do have to worry about air pockets a little bit. So all you do is go like this. Make sure this guy is set. So this rock right here is kind of letting me know where I want the piece of driftwood once it sinks. So that's just going to go right there. This one could go over there. So for the white one, I'm going to put it, if you want to get right behind me, because I'm not trying to get my other hand wet. So I'm going to put this one right here. So, and like I said, the cryptocorynes, they feed really, really heavy from the roots. So you got to make sure you have root tabs or something. You got to have something for them to grow. And in my opinion, from what I've seen and researched, they grow a little bit on the slower side. Because then if you want to click that, yeah. They grow a little bit on the slower side, so you don't have to worry too much about it like taking over the tank. The next plant that I'm going to show you takes over the tank. But I have like these small trimmings all around, and pretty much what you do is you put it on like that. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't, to be honest. Trimmings, you can always get more. And especially since I'm running CO2 on the other tank, and I have the root tabs, it's gonna be fine. So that's it for this tank right here. So for the other one, where we got the trimmings from, I'll switch sides, stand right here. So yes, pretty much if I wanted to, I could trim all of these and put them in that tank, but kind of don't want to right now. So for this one, where is a good place? So I'm gonna place this one directly in the back over here. Yeah, I don't want this directly in the front. Oh my goodness, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, I don't want it directly in the front because that one's going to grow like a weed, like I was saying. And it's going to take over the tank. It gets really tall. And the reason why I'm not putting it in this tank right here it's because of that. We're going for a more aquascape instead of a nature or ecoscape. You know, we don't want the Vallisneria to take over the tank. If we had an extra one, an extra 55, we have seen that over in Santa Cruz, where an entire tank is taken over by Vallisneria, and it's super cool and amazing. And especially for angelfish, it's going to provide a lot of, what was it, sight block? Or, yeah, just like the breaking up the lines of sight. And he was able to have, you know, multiple angelfish in there without any signs of aggression. And I don't know if they bred or not, but completely fine. So we are waiting for the 4 angelfish coming in next week on, I believe, Monday or Tuesday. And we're going to be getting a little bit more plants. I do want to get a few more. We're going to be adding maybe some floaters, but that's after these driftwoods go down. And we got to add a schooling fish to here for sure. So see you guys next week.
So from the last part of the video, it has been a few days. We are getting the tracking number for the angelfish today, and they should be coming in a few days. But my girlfriend really wanted some schooling fish in here, and we ended up going to the pet store and finding some really cool schooling fish. So let's take a look at them. So we got 10 scissor tip tetras. So they're gonna be growing a little bit larger, about 2.5, 3 inches, and these are going to be a perfect schooling fish. They do have a little bit bigger of a mouth than I want, just in case we do breed the angelfish, and these guys could easily pick off any wigglers or any, you know, newly swimming fry and all that. So that was the only thing. They did have some other fish. The best one that I have researched on for best diddlerfish or pencilfish, because they just have the smallest mouths possible. But these are going to do fine. I only have 10 of them. I could go get another set of 10 and have a schooling of 20. That would be super lovely. I would love that, but the whole focus of this tank is angelfish and the breeding of it. And this guy, he has gotten a lot more active with these schooling fish. These corys have been getting a lot more active. They haven't been as scared because these 3 big Julies have been sitting in that back corner just because there isn't too much stuff covering the top for them to feel safe. But they have been coming out a little bit more because these diddlerfish are helping them not be so scared, but they are loving this tank. So once the Bulgarian point angelfish come in, I'll start filming the next clip, so I'll see you guys then. So I kind of forgot to film grabbing the box, but we got 2 out of the 4 that I ordered. It kind of sucks, but I did message the seller, and hopefully that gets all resolved. But these are the angelfish. They look amazing. Let's go look at them. So here are our green Bulgarian point angelfish. See that one? So what makes it a Bulgarian point is those top fins, and those bottom fins are going to be all black. And see, this one is going to be showing. It's just a little stressed out, but these hopefully are going to be a male female. And if that's the case, then we can start breeding them. And these are going to be a really highly sought after, like, design of fish, the Bulgarian points, and we can breed them with lots of different other angelfish, like angelfish, to get that point, you know, all that top fin and those bottom, I think they're called ventricles fins. But those will be all black for the kois. But that guy is a little bit too big for them. These are still going to have a few months of growing out before they are ready to start breeding. So we are going to put them in this tank. There should be plenty of space, and this guy he's pretty peaceful. And there's a lot of other diddler fish, and I feel like those fish are gonna, you know, kind of help, you know, keep this guy calm, and mostly picking on them
when these show up. So let's go throw these guys in. So what I did to acclimate them was I had them in the baggie for about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. It was 10. I rushed it a little bit. It was more of because they are in a bag, they're in the same water. I don't want them to be more stressed out than they need to be. So it was only 10 minutes of just water acclimating, you know, and then with this container, I filled it up with a little bit of the tank water, and then I poured in the other water, but you don't want to go put that other water into your tank. In my experience, that if it's a good seller, they are going to fast them for a day before they ship them out, so they aren't pooping and clouding up that water like crazy, which is a very, very important thing if you are going to be shipping fish. So because we know that, I have my net, I have my bucket, and I'm gonna pour these guys into the net, and then we're gonna release them into there, like that. And so the problem with angelfish is they do have like a little like longer finnage. So if they do get stuck, don't freak out. Just allow them to kind of wiggle themselves out. In my experience, because the more you shake, the more stuck they're gonna get, and that only results in non-fun experiences. So we're gonna do this as best as possible. We have it like this, and then I did feed the tank before I put these fish in, because allowing, oh shoot, oh it fell, oh that sucks a lot. Okay, well I was gonna let them sit for a moment and allow themselves to chill out, but that's not the case. I wanted to talk, they wanted out. So feeding the fish allows the aggression to go down because they're kind of preoccupied eating. So right now, the angelfish are gonna kind of stick together. They grew up together, you know, so they aren't gonna, you know, stray too far away from each other. Okay, let's check this out. Okay, so because they are two of them, this angelfish is checking them out. They're gonna develop a hierarchy. You know, they are a cichlid. They develop hierarchies. So this big one is obviously going to be... Oh, they're pushing them. They're pushing them. Okay, maybe these angelfish are going to chill out. So we are going to allow these angelfish to rest and chill out. I'm going to be turning off the lights and allowing them to just fully acclimate and everything to the tank. So I hooked up all of the lights to one thing, so all I gotta do is just that, and everything goes out. And what this pretty much allows the fish to do, sorry, I'm just cleaning up the top, because yeah, I'm not used to these glass lids and all that, and I like the lights hung up, you know, see I have it like that, and that is acclimating water. Don't worry about that. So I usually have the lights hung up, so I'm getting used to the extra hassle of these things. But turning off the lights allows the fish to kind of chill out a little bit more. Like daylight's fine, don't get me wrong. But allowing it to be kind of a little bit darker relaxes the fish a little bit more. And it's gonna give them a little bit more easier of a time to get used to the tank. So that's essentially it for the entire build of the 55 gallon. We got our angelfish. I'm gonna do an update video, like when the driftwood falls, we'll do like a whole aquascape. You guys saw what I was planning in the beginning. I'm gonna be getting more river rock and doing all of that stuff. But until then, thank you so much for watching till the end. I know this is a longer video. Oh, what the heck are they doing? I really hope these guys chill out and everything's cool, because the angelfish has not caused any problems, but they are a cichlid, like I said, and you know, I just got to watch out for all of that. But please like, comment, and subscribe, and see you in the next one.